Everything they ever have told us is a lie. They tell us that our heart is a pump. Your heart is not a pump. Your heart is a valve. Your lungs is a pump that pumps the blood to the heart. The heart is a valve mechanism that controls the cardio output of blood. Everything they tell us about everything is a lie. They tell you your hair is just hair. No, our hair is non-ether hair. It is actually an extension of your nervous system. It is used to scan the environment, and it brings all of these different melanin neurotransmitters back to your skin to tell you whether to actually engage in the environment or take fight or flight and run away. We heal a lot of what you would call celebrities or stars, a whole lot of them. My name ring bells in the celebrity kingdom. I know. Ring bells. We done healed cancer. We done healed a lot of STDs with rappers, a whole lot of crazy STDs. We done got people off of opioids. We grew a thyroid back. We got rid of a case of HIV in the actual celebrity community. It's crazy the way they call me, and it's like, you got everything you want, but you missing your health. Dehydration. Okay, you like your sodas and stuff. I don't recommend it. It kills the kidneys. It gives you all types of urinary tract cancer, urinary tract infections. I mean, look, let me show you what soda does to the kidneys. This is what soda does to the kidneys. This is a kidney, y'all. Look at all of these stones. Look at the nephrons. They're corroded with acidosis. And look at all of this. This is calcium bicarbonate. This is what happens when you drink soda and you don't drink enough H3O2 or enough H2O. This is what happens to the kidneys. Do you know the kidneys is literally the life to the blood? Because without the kidneys, it's impossible for you to circulate and regulate oxygen with iron phosphate within inside of the blood, y'all. And most of y'all kidneys look like this right now. And when the kidneys go down, guess what else go down with it? The heart. Because the heart and the kidneys are closely assimilated with each other. I'll call them twins, or I'll call them brothers and sisters. And in some lectures, I call them husband and wife. Because that's how close they are together. This is what we doing to our kidneys. It's a real life-size kidney, dehydrated kidney, y'all. This is what's going on. That's calcium deposits. Why is the calcium there? The calcium is there to buffer out the what, y'all? The acids. So the more acids you have in your body, or the more toxins you have in the body, or more dehydrated your body is, or the more anti-nutrients you're taking into the body, calcium in the mucosal membrane is going to have to respond. And when acids mix with what? Calcium, it solidifies. And this is what you call crystallization of calcium. Crystallization of calcium bicarbonate. See that? So calcium is not a good thing when it's overly produced in the body. Because notice when you land on your back, all the gravity is going down and closing the esophagus. So you need to turn to your what? Your left side. This will actually relieve all the pressure off the back of your tongue and the fats that's building off the back of your tongue, and you can get a better passageway for you can get oxygen down to your lungs, and then the lungs can distribute all this oxygen to your bloodstream. So you need to turn to your left side, and you need to start sleeping that way. Do not sleep on your right side, because it turns your stomach upside down, and now you're going to have GERD disease, or you're going to start getting acid reflux, and this can create ulcers and all types of things. So always sleep on your left side, the way your stomach is positioned right, and you can keep that cardiac sphincter closed, because that cardiac sphincter acts as a door that actually shuts your esophagus off from your stomach. That way you won't start leaking hydrochloric acid into the esophagus, which will make this problem much worse, or you feel like you're having a heart attack throughout the day when it's really acid just burning up your esophagus and burning up that cardiac sphincter door. Another creator. There's certain things that blocks your connection with the creator, and we call these the 7 deadly sins of nature. Killing animals' flesh. That is a deadly sin of nature. Killing of animals. Eating the flesh. That's the 2nd deadly sin of nature. Avoiding alkaline water sources and drinking shit like soda pops and juices and pasteurized juices, which come from pasture, a fake biochemist that got you believing in all kinds of diseases that don't even exist. That is the 3rd deadly sin of nature. Having sex with people that is not on your same frequency, creating off-frequency babies. That is the 4th deadly sin of nature. Polluting nature's air and nature's earth. That is the 5th deadly sin of nature. Not meditating or not praying. Meditating is when God talks to you. Praying is when you talk to God. Affirmations is when you talk to the God in you. So not meditating, not praying, and not doing your affirmations. That is the 6th deadly sin of nature, because you have to feed yourself placebo. And the 7th deadly sin of nature is going against any aspect of its creation. If it don't reproduce, it's going against nature. See that? So that means buying foods that you know that don't come from the sun. buying foods that you know that does not do good to your body, buying foods that you know that brings on an inchemical or unbalanced hormonal balance in your body is a sin, because you're going against something that you know that is good for you, and you're bringing in bad entities, and your body is supposed to be the temple of God. So if the body is the temple of God, and then this temple is where the Ruach HaKodesh, or where the Spirit of God dwells in, for you can operate in your higher principle, and you're stopping that natural phenomenon, that means you're going against nature. This is a violation of nature, and you have to pay for that violation.
What you do frequently becomes your frequency. It's about more so the connection between food and sex.
The food that they eating got sexual hormones in them. Especially if you're eating chicken, you know, because they want them to reproduce faster. So they sticking them with all type of sexual steroids. So that come on to you. Then most of the food is died of through stress. So you getting all them stress, you know, melanin neurotransmitters that come from the food. So, and you have to look at promotion wise when it comes to food psychology. Hot dogs. What is the concept of a hot dog? And why do a hot dog go between buns? What about pizza? How pizza is used for pedophiles. It's called Pizzagate. But you see, pizza represents the upside down triangle, which represents the womb of a woman. So food is sexual. A word that I call estrogen annihilation. That's what's making us very feminine. That's what's happening with the THC and the weed. That's what's happening and what they putting into all the food. And if you look at synthetic estrogen, it is a magnesium inhibitor. And a manganese inhibitor, you can't produce zinc, and zinc is what works with testosterone to create your actual seminal fluid, or what we're gonna call semen. So, you know, if you eating all these foods that's high in estrogen, high in all these different acidic acids that's being left behind as byproducts of synthetic chemicals that they putting in the food for additives and preservatives. These preservatives are literally not only behavior modifiers, but they're sexual modifiers too. And that's what's really messing with us, man, and cutting off our circulation. I started studying a lot, and once I realized that, you know, dang, estrogen is naturally supposed to be in my body, but I'm not using the natural estrogen in my body, I'm using the synthetic estrogen. Dang, that's robbing me, you know, because estrogen is not, synthetic estrogen is an iron phosphate inhibitor too. We need that for oxygen. We need that to convert all types of other different steroids over. So I'm starting to see that the food was robbing me of all the minerals and all the melanin neurotransmitters that I need to keep a balance of homeostasis. So I say a good transitional diet will be the late great Dr. Sebi diet. That's a good transitional diet, you know, going the alkaline way and then cooking the food, you know. So-called cooked alkaline food is a very good transition. But after that, you have to graduate from that too and go into the raw side and stop putting fire to your food.
But when you really get into those spills and these different train derailments that's been happening all around, you know, the USA simultaneously, over different 8 trains have been derailed, and most of them have had these deadly toxic chemicals in them, and then they burning these chemicals, changing the molecular structure of these chemicals, which are, you know, potentially creating biohazardous weapons against the civilians and the citizens of these different cities. And then they're putting them in water, and I mean, this is government documents showing they doing this stuff. You got to start asking yourself, are we prepared for what's to truly come? You know, when you start getting into what they're playing with, and you start getting into burning hydrocarbons, which I talk about all the time, and you start talking about these different vinyl polymers and these chlorides, and when you put fire to them and how they literally create, it's worse than chemotherapy. This stuff is worse than a nuclear bomb, y'all. And this stuff is in our water. Now it's being polluted in all of our foods, and this stuff been in the rivers. And we know that the Ohio River actually connect with the Mississippi River, and the Mississippi River connects with the Missouri River. So, you know, this stuff is in the water. We're going to show this. Not only is it in the water, it's in the food. And then there was a lot of food on these different trains and stuff. And when you burn this stuff with this chloride, it creates a nuclear bomb, y'all. And this stuff is going to defect our cells. It's going to damage the mitochondrial DNA of our bodies. We finna start seeing children born without arms, legs, face deformities. We finna start seeing some horrific stuff, y'all. I'm telling, mark my words. And I don't even give it 50 years from now. And I give it 5 years or those that's in the vicinity, like in Ohio, because we talking about 1,000-mile radius. We not just talking about East Palestine, Ohio. When you burn this stuff, we talking about 1,000-mile radius, and now it's in the water and it's polluting the foods and stuff. Man, look, we finna trace down the food chains where the food's being sold at. We gonna trace down these rivers, and we gonna show y'all that, like, to me, how it looked like this stuff is deliberate. It looked like there is a war that's being waged on us on our own soil, and then they're hiding it as accidents, and they saying, you know, these are train derailments and this is that. And no, this is an act of war, family, and we got to learn how to prepare for this stuff, because if you don't, and if you pregnant right now, it's a good chance that your baby can come out mentally retarded. It's a good chance that your baby can come out missing limbs. It's a good chance that man can be sterile. It's a good chance that women ovaries will literally have polys and cysts on them full of cancer. So we talking about one of the worst chemical spills in humanity, y'all.